hook up in a live events or a dark match or house shows or anything like that. That was literally the first time we met was the first time we were in the ring together.
When do you remember actually hearing about him for the first time? And what was
That
the
night?
general consensus in the locker room? Did you hear anybody chattering about him or?
No. I remember Terry Taylor, who was the agent, came up and delivered the news in only the way Terry Taylor can. Listen, you gotta, put this guy over, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's gonna be quick, and they're gonna take a look at him, and he's the next big thing, and just do your job. Which is my terrible impression of Terry Taylor, but yeah, Terry made it seem like, well, listen, you've been doing good, but this guy's the next big thing, and you're a piece of meat tonight. That wasn't the vibe from Bill. That wasn't the vibe from Kevin Sullivan. I actually appreciated when Kevin shared his thought process on who would they put with Bill for his debut match. So I considered it a badge of honor. And dealing with Bill before, during, and after. Awesome.
Yeah, because if you think about it, that night when you faced him, if things would have went differently, there might not be Goldberg at the same level. We don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But so you took it to heart personally that you were going to make sure this guy they're pushing looked good.
Well, I mean, this is where in my career I got told a bunch of times by a lot of veterans and people, like people claim I never took care of myself. I didn't stand up for myself or anything like that. I got into this business on a whim, and so my whole career was made on, like, I was a bumper. That was my thing. I was a big guy who could move good, but I was a bumper. And whether I had a streak of wins but my character was getting over and I was starting to make some headway in the company, but I never looked at it as, well, why should I have to put this guy over? Now, see, we'll go back to when I said there's different stories out there. Terry Taylor went and said, well, Bill DeMott made a big stink and cried about it, and that's the furthest from the truth, because I think Bill put it in his book or something that I was unhappy about doing the favor. But that's farthest from the truth. My answer was, okay, I know what my job is, and you go through my career, on any given night, I'm putting over somebody. And it just so happens I'm putting over the best in the business. Working with Savage and Hogan and Sting and Flair and Anderson and up and down the line. There was no ego with who's going over. It's just, how can I do it in the right fashion? And I could have been looking back on it for years, I could have been a complete knucklehead about it and said, well, I'm not hitting him with my finish so he can kick out. Like, I don't know what a lot of, like, let's go behind the curtain a little bit. There's a lot of things where people won't do their signature stuff to help someone out. I never looked at it like that. Like, what's the biggest reaction he was going to get that night? Was going to be after the moonsault. Because until that point, there was one or two people that may have kicked out of it. One being Hulk Hogan. I can't name the second person at that time who it was. It might have been Bill. Might have been the only second person to do it. And you see, if you go back and watch that match, and I encourage everyone to go back and watch it, because I had a lot of fun in it. It was physical. I thought it was a good little piece of business. But I hit him with my finish, and when he kicked out, you look at that sold out arena, and they couldn't believe that someone kicked out. Like, that's what I was known for. So Bill kicked out, and then he jackhammered me and all that 1, 2, 3, and you heard it in the commentators. You saw the crowd, you saw my face, and you saw Bill's demeanor, and that's what made Bill. I didn't make Bill. It was Bill's demeanor, how it went. But you're right. If I would have, as veterans say, if I would have slipped on a banana peel, or if I would have accidentally poked him in the eye, or I would have been clumsy and made him look clumsy, we might not be having this conversation. But that wasn't the case, man. It was just your job was to, wrestle, no matter whether you're going over or not. And when Kevin says, hey, there's something to this guy, we want to see what he's got, that's all I need to hear.